Not many people can say they've spent over a year of their life in space, unless you're former astronaut and Navy SEAL Chris Cassidy, whose 3 trips above Earth to the International Space Station provided him with a unique perspective on this special planet we call home.
You know, I'm often asked, how does one go from being a SEAL to an astronaut? And I was not a young guy thinking about space flight. In fact, I was not a young guy thinking about the Navy. I had no idea about the SEAL teams, and I had no idea that people can apply to be an astronaut, which sounds silly because somebody has to be astronauts, but in my brain, it's what other people do. You had to be a test pilot, you have to be this, you have to be that. All those things preclude me from being one of them. And I met Bill Shepard, who was the first Navy SEAL to become an astronaut, and he had also graduated from the Naval Academy, and he had also attended MIT for graduate school. And then I realized that if NASA selected him, then why the heck not me? Let's try.
Just after returning from a 6-month deployment, Chris received a call that would literally launch him into a new chapter of his career. He was officially selected to be an astronaut.
Besides, how do you go to the bathroom in space? The most common question I'm asked is, what are you thinking at launch? And there's so many emotions involved with it. Each one of these days leading up to launch is building. And then the last night that you're there, you have this fitful, restless night of sleep thinking about all the things you have to do tomorrow. You wake up, you pack all your bags and everything ships off. Then you go into the suit room and get your spacesuit on. And that was the first moment when I realized the intensity of launch day, because the suit technician, we're normally joking around and having fun and laughing, he was just very intently focused on every zipper pulls, doom, 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 every mechanism of the wrist and helmet, paying attention that it was all functioning properly. And I remember going, wow, okay, this is game day. Our first launch attempt was at night, so we turned the corner on the bus and the vehicles just lit up with these intense bright white lights. I remember getting out of the bus and looking up at the top towards the rocket and going, holy cow, we're gonna get in that thing. And it's fully full of fuel. That cold fuel against the Florida ambient air causes like the metal to moan and groan and twist, and there's this energy that you just feel. And then at 6 seconds, the main engine's light, and you start to see the red envelop the launch pad, and at T0, explosive bolts fire and release. And I remember thinking, holy cow, this is really it. And my eyeballs looking at all the things I'm supposed to be looking at, but I couldn't help but look out the window and see it go by. There's just so many emotions with it. There's excitement, there's pride that you're there representing your country and your family. There's nerves. Am I gonna screw this up? Am I trained well enough? Do I have what it takes? Am I gonna screw up when they need me to not? And then there's just your own personal excitement, like, oh my gosh, I've been training for 5 years for this, and now here we are. There's just a lot wrapped up in it. The most stressful and scary moment in all of my experience was a particular spacewalk where my buddy's spacesuit started to fill with water on the inside.
No, it's not sweat. It's not sweat.
And what was happening was water was mixing into the oxygen lines, and so as oxygen came onto his head, water was as well. And so the water started to fill his head like a layer of frosting on a cake.
It's hard to tell, but it feels like a lot of water. I see it now, wiggling.
And it got in his eyebrows and his eyes, and then his nostrils and his ears. And so his mouth was still open when we got back inside, but he couldn't see, he couldn't hear. He and I have talked about it several times, but he probably had 20 more minutes, and then he wouldn't have been able to get a fresh breath of air. There's no doubt that experience in the SEAL teams, particularly combat experience in Afghanistan, helped me. I naturally just sort of settled in and, okay, what do I gotta do? I remember actually having this thought, what do I need to do to break even? Like, in other words, stuff never gets super good really fast, but it can go super bad really fast. And so I remember thinking, I need to not do anything that makes it get super bad. I need to just break even. Life is about experiences, those little moments that stick with you. And usually those moments are associated with not just yourself, but when you're sharing that with somebody special, your family, your friends, your crewmates in this case. And so my first opportunity to see Earth through the window was right after launch on the shuttle. I had to take some photographs of the external fuel tank, and in doing so, I realized that, oh my God, that's Strait of Gibraltar down there, and we've only been in flight for 30 minutes. And 30 minutes ago, we were in Florida, now we're over the Straits of Gibraltar, and you just see Earth below you. That view made me realize, holy cow, we need to take care of this place. Like, look at what's going on down there in the Amazon. You don't see traffic on the highways between up and down the East Coast or across the country. You don't see strife in the Middle East. You just see Earth. But it made me realize that that's our home. That's the spaceship for whatever, 7 or 8 billion people that we are now. And we need to take care of it. Just like we need to maintain our car, we need to maintain the spaceship we're in, we need to maintain Earth, and we need to not screw it up. And so it made me far more aware of what Earth does for us.
For more information, visit hiringamerica.com.